I am Malita the Mogul, and I'm young and great. I'm Malita, also known as Malita the Mogul. I have done talent management, branding, marketing, event curation. I mean, the list goes on. I was very aggressive and assertive, always in defense mode all day long. I was very confrontational. I fought a lot, and I just was careless. Well, I just used that aggression that I had as a child and taken it to my business. I'm less confrontational, of course, but it helps me, like being a woman in the industry, you know, you have to have just a little bit of assertiveness and just a little bit of aggression just to get your point across. And it's paid off thus far. I have too much to lose to be fighting anybody now. But overall, it's molded me into being something great. Because without it, I wouldn't even see how far I've come. Well, I'm a creator of my own opportunities. I never wait around for anything or anyone or anything to be presented to me, because at the end of the day, like, everyone's worried about themselves. So I wanted to help people live out their dreams and reach new levels and new heights and really help them get to where they wanted to be. And I figured, why not start my own company and help them do that? Well, maybe about 4 years ago, I actually wrote about this on Instagram. 4 years ago, someone used a mugshot of mine from when I got into an altercation, and they used it and they put that I did fraud or something, like, because they were mad or something. I don't even know who it was to this day. And A-list artist who I was working for actually reposted and everything, because I stopped working for them, and they reposted it, and I was like depressed, like, you know, and I was just like, you know, I did the right thing. It was a lie, and you'll be surprised what people want to bash you just because you don't want to be a part of their situation anymore. So it impacted me a lot. It affected me a lot. And I talked to a guy named Pat, and he was like, nobody cares about what anybody's talking about, because we know you didn't do that, and we know that it's a lot, so don't worry about it. But I was like depressed for like 3 months. And I didn't even want to work in the industry anymore. I know my purpose is way bigger than me. My purpose is so much more bigger than me. Like, I'm from Baltimore, so this is something new. Like, people from Baltimore really don't make it out of Baltimore. You hear about like Monique or Jada Pinkett, you know, people like that. But there's so many successful people and so many talented people in Baltimore who are stuck there. So to make it out, I knew that I had a mission to accomplish, and I'm going to do that by any means necessary. What impact? The impact I would like to have on young ladies is to just keep going. Like, no matter what, because at the end of the day, when you intimidate, this is a male-dominated world, period. So when you intimidate men, like, they're going to try to frustrate you, they're going to try to stop you, they're going to try to pay you less, whatever the case may be, and you may get discouraged, and you may, you know, want to give up, and you may feel like this isn't for you, but what's for you will always be for you, no matter what anyone says and no matter who tries to take it away from you. And I really want them to understand that it's okay to be intimidating. It's okay to be a woman, and it's okay to really stand your ground no matter who's against you. It's important because I didn't have a mentor growing up, and even to this day, like, I didn't study, you know, entertainment. I moved to Atlanta to attend Clark Atlanta University for criminal justice, and I didn't have any guidance in this industry at all. Like, I was just going with the flow. And when you go with the flow, sometimes your flow can slow down. Sometimes your flow can lead you to a dead end. So sometimes you just need that person to just grab you up and say, hey, like, straighten up, or hey, you're going the wrong way, or this is the way to go. And I want to be that person for them. So a friend of mine moved from Baltimore, and she was a DJ. Her name's Aisha Adore. And I was waitressing at Esso's. This was like when I was 20. I was waitressing at Esso. I was going to school, and I was working at Nordstrom Rack. And I had like 5 jobs at this time. And she's like, so she wanted to be a DJ, and I knew everybody in the clubs from me waitressing there. So I would take her to all the clubs, and she started DJing at the clubs because I would introduce her to people. And she was like, you should be a manager. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and it just happened from there. I met Sunny, Metro, and Q before everybody was, you know, before we were all like these big names or whatever. And we, you know, grinded out together. I learned a lot being with them. And then a friend of mine, Raz, called me and was just like, oh, I have somebody who want to meet you. And it was Rick Ross. And then I already knew Migos from working with Sunny and Q. So then I started casting all their videos. It just was like it just was, everything was just falling into place for me. But I worked for it, for sure. I'm investing in mogul mentality. I'm investing in the people around me. I manage OG Parker. He's a multi-platinum producer, Grammy nominated actually. And, now I'm just investing in those around me and my company in itself. It's just a gut feeling. And I feel like we have to follow that gut feeling that we always get. Like a lot of times we second guess it and then we go and do something that we know that we don't want to do just to make somebody else happy, and you end up wasting your time. And like I told all my friends this year, I was like, pick 3 things you want to focus on. Pick 3 and execute every last idea with them and make it all happen. Because when this person calls you and say, oh, can you do this for me? And can you do this for me? Or how about this and how about this? Then you stray away from your dreams and your goals, and I never want to do that anymore because I've done that. So you help everyone else become millionaires, and you help everyone else get Rolls Royces, and you're like, wait, where's my shit? You know what I'm saying? And I'm to the point where now, like, oh, I'm getting mine first. I come first, period. It just depends on where your heart is at. I can't really say, like, you just have a feeling, like, you know what you want to do, and you know what it's going to take to get there. So, of course, you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to make $1 billion this year, but you're going to think of strategies in order to get to that $1 billion. So this year you may have to do this, and then next year you may have to do that. But it's all about being strategic in this game, because this is all a game. So in order to win this game, like, you have to be strategic, and you have to really know what you want. And then, so I always tell people, like, start here. Like, we're here, but you have to think here and then meet halfway. So when you start planning and everything else, you already know how to get to the top. I used to manage like multiple people at a time, and they wouldn't listen. Like, they would want me to manage them, but then they wouldn't listen. And being a manager, you're only getting 20% of what comes in. So if nothing's coming in, you're not making any money. So, and that's why now, like, I kind of focus on myself and people who I know who work just as hard as me. But you're struggling. Like, when I used to go to the mall with certain people, and I used to help them a lot, but I don't even. They spend $1,000 at the mall. They didn't pay me though, but I don't even have any gas to get home. And I'm just like, should I just get a job? But I'm like an alpha female, so I'm not listening to nobody. So that's kind of dead. But I just, like I said before, like, I just know my purpose is bigger than me, so I'm never gonna quit, ever. It's based off of their work ethic, and their personality, because I have a very strong personality, and if you can't really get with the program, then, and I know what I'm talking about too, so results. So if you can't really get with the program, if you're always against what I'm saying, and if you really don't take heed for what I'm saying, then I don't need to manage you. Like, for instance, with like Parker and Malik, like, Malik is a photographer for Jeezy now, and he's 20 years old. Like, and they really, like, because I love them to death. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more than just money. So they really take heed to what I say. We may have a debate once in a while or whatever, but they know, like, I have their best interests at heart. It's not all about money. Some people manage people because they know they can get a quick dollar, but I know it's bigger than that. I know it can be bigger than that. So you want people who want to work on their character traits as well, and not just, oh, can you make me famous tomorrow? Or, oh, and they have to trust the process. I'm really big on trusting the process, because everything looks overnight, but it's not. Like, even my success isn't overnight. And people who know me know that. So you're looking like, oh, she got a car now, or, oh, she got this, she got that. But I worked for it, and I deserve that because I'm supposed to be here. I have a circle around me to make, they don't let me slack. Even if I'm late to something, or if I say I'm not doing something, like, literally, I started selling like these hoodies recently, and my little sister Lola, I was like, this shit is frustrating. I'm not no apparel company. Like, I don't have time for this. It's taking up too much time. I was like, I'm just done. After I ship these off, I'm done. She's like, no, no. So you need those people around you that's not gonna let up on you, because even though you're the strong friend or the strong, person around, that doesn't mean that you don't need an extra push sometimes. So I just have people who constantly push me as well, just as much as I push them. To other young entrepreneurs, I would really say, know where you're supposed to be, right? And never let somebody take you out of that element. Like, even though, I'm grateful to be in certain positions, but I always, like I said, I work for them. So, like I said, I'm supposed to be here. This ain't my last stop. This is not my first stop. And it's not my only stop. So at the end of the day, like, don't get comfortable. Like, be ready to go to the next step. Like, don't get comfortable. Don't get happy, because everything that you have can be taken away from you if you don't continue to work. So work your ass off and just don't look back, period. I pray a lot. I talk to God. I talk to those close to me. I have a great relationship with my family. So I never forget who I am. And they always make me realize who I'm becoming. They help me realize that every day. So, and you know, some people have people in their corner that's jealous of them or spiteful, but I don't have that. Like, everyone embraces me and I embrace them. So I keep those people around me, and I constantly, write out things, or, even write on my mirror in my bathroom. It has the same thing, like, I'm a mogul, like, remember who you are, because the world will try to tell you who you are, especially being a woman. Like, we're bitches. We are just, oh, you're rude, or oh, you're this. But the same thing I'm saying to you, if Diddy were to say it, or anybody, you would take it. You know what I'm saying? If Jay-Z were to say it, you would take it. If Gary Vee were to say it, you would take it. But since it's a woman, it's a problem. So I always continue to know that I'm supposed to be here. That's how I stay grounded, knowing that I'm supposed to be here and that I work to be here, and keeping those great energies around me continuously. So I watched, Jada Pinkett is from Baltimore. So I watched the interview, and she was like, I used to just be on go. I used to fight all the time. Like, I had my guard up, like basically what I said earlier. Like, because that's how we're raised. Like, you're taught to hustle, and you're taught to just be on defense mode all the time, because that's what you're around. Everybody's on defense. And she was just saying, like, I learned to listen. Like, I stopped, and she was like, yeah, I still, I'm a fighter still, but I'll learn to listen. And I think now, like, even in meetings, I'll learn to listen, and to the point where if I don't say anything, it scares people. But I really listen now. I listen to everything people say, like, and just really think about it before I really react, because I'm very outspoken and candid, so my words are sharp and they can hurt. So I really try to take heed before I take offense at something. I really try to listen to it and say, is this good for me? Should I digest this, or should I just walk away from this person or this conversation? So I really learned to listen after watching that interview. Well, I would really like to say that the success does not come overnight. It's not all red bottoms, Louis bags, and G-Wagons and Rolls Royces. Like, all these people work to get here. And yes, a lot of people try to skip the process and go around this. But one thing about it is the grind will catch up with you some way, somehow. You cannot cheat the grind. You're going to have to go back and repeat steps and everything, because you cannot cheat the grind. It will bite you in the ass. So really trust your process, take it step by step, and and don't be envious of other people's journey. I think that's another thing. Like, you see highlight reels of people's lives on Instagram and social media, and you think, oh, if I do this and I can be like them, or I can get this, or I can do that, or I can show my ass to get this, and that's not the case. The best person to be is yourself. And I feel like we get lost in the sauce, for real. Like, looking at Instagram, looking at social media platforms, and we just don't even know who we are anymore, because now you're trying to turn into something that everyone else likes, literally likes on social media. And it's not about that, especially when your purpose is bigger than that. So follow your own path and believe that what's for you will always be for you.